Negative thoughts can feel like an uninvited guest in your mind, constantly pushing their way in, draining your energy, and making you question your peace. If you don't learn how to handle them, they'll keep control over your mood, your decisions, and even your relationships, keeping you stuck in a cycle of stress and frustration. But the good news, you don't have to let them dictate your life. So what if you could not only quiet them, but completely transform your relationship with your mind? What if you could finally break free from the grip of negativity and reclaim your inner calm? Let's dive in and explore how to make that shift today. Removing negative ideas requires accepting them for what they are. Transient mental processes, not fighting them. No matter how good or bad your thoughts are, they do not define you. These are artificial structures that you've built up from your experiences, beliefs, and the narratives you've taught yourself. Be mindful of any negative thoughts that pop into your head. Give in to it. Observation weakens it, but resistance gives it strength. Just tell yourself, this is just a thought. You shouldn't attach yourself. This is just a thought. You shouldn't attach yourself to it or pass judgment on it. Just picture that idea floating through the air like a cloud. You embody the boundless expanse of the sky, not a mere cloud. When we identify with negative ideas, they gain power. I am this, I am that, they claim. However, you are not your ideas. You are the silence from which those ideas emerge. The initial stride toward liberation is realizing this. Misery loves company, and yet so many people go about their days as though they were always at odds with themselves. Staying in the here and now helps you let go of worrying ideas. Why? Simply said, pessimism thrives on dwelling on the past and fretting about the future. However, those delusions do not exist in the here and now. Try asking yourself, what is my relationship to this moment? The next time a nasty thought pops into your head, is something wrong right now, in this very breath? No, that is the answer you will get the majority of the time. The mind's interpretation of events is flawed, not the actual events themselves. Learn to calm your racing thoughts by focusing on your body's sensations or the cadence of your breath. In that silence, feel the vitality that drives you. Discordant voices of pessimism, go quiet. Recognize that negative ideas do not reflect your true self. Rather, they are a product of ego training and the shared human experience. You shouldn't give them any thought. Conflict and drama are the ego's favorite things. A tale is necessary for its survival, but your true identity does not require one. Being is where it resides, in the silence. Therefore, you shouldn't treat negative thoughts like stains on a canvas and try to wipe them out. Just let them fade away into the light of consciousness on their own. This self-awareness is your actual essence. Freedom, love, and peace. That is what it is. You are not your negative thoughts. Like clouds in the sky, they are ephemeral shapes in one's mind. Still, a lot of us relate to these ideas and perhaps think they sum us up. Our response is, I am worried, I am stressed, or I am not good enough. However, these assertions do not reflect your true nature. The mind fabricates these tales. If you want a thorough comprehension of this, you need to know that your mind is not who you are. A large silent area exists within you, separate from the mental noise. Pure awareness predominates in this place, thus there is no room for negativity here. Do not fight the urge to think negatively whenever it comes. Opposition merely serves to fortify it. Keep an eye on it instead. Keep an eye on it instead. Keep an eye on it like you would a bird in flight. Avoid thinking about it, analyzing it, or passing judgment on it. Just take note of it and let it alone. An astonishing thing occurs when you do this. The force of the concept starts to diminish. Paying attention is the lifeblood of negativity. In order to stay alive, you must have faith. Like a shadow in bright light, it disappears when you don't identify it. Saying, this thought is here but I am not it, rather than this thought is mine, is the key to breaking the cycle one instant. Pay attention to the here and now instead. Experience the vitality all across your being. Pay attention to your breathing, the feel of your limbs and the noises around you. Any pessimism about the future or the past has no place in the here and now. There is dread and remorse. However, at this very second, neither the past nor the future exists, only the present. Realize this on a deep level. Resisting bad ideas will not eliminate them. You can make them disappear by illuminating them with your consciousness. They vanish not because you command them to, but because they are unable to endure being in the same room as your awareness. Patience is a virtue in this endeavor. Negativity has a way of creeping back into one's thoughts. However, you should view this as a chance to develop presence every time it happens. Frequency of the thoughts will decrease as time goes on. Plus, once they do, they won't feel as heavy. Rather than being the tempest, you embody the sky. Rather of being the ocean, you are the waves. In the depths of mental chaos, your authentic essence rests. Sit quietly for a while, and all the negative chatter will fade away. Forget about trying to manage your thoughts and just be an observer. You will discover liberation in this observation. You will discover tranquility and liberty. Although trying to remove negative ideas shows a lack of knowledge of their nature, the question of how to eliminate them is significant in and of itself. No matter how good or bad your thoughts are, they do not define you. They are fleeting ideas that pop into your head from time to time, like clouds in the sky of your consciousness. Rather than trying to get rid of them, focus on how you relate to them. This can be better grasped by taking a step back and looking at how thoughts work. Suddenly, ideas pop into my head. They are frequently shaped by their upbringing, cultural norms, and unconscious habits. Unresolved pain, fear, or the mind's propensity to concentrate on perceived issues are common sources of negative thoughts. However, are these ideas actually yours? Pay attention whenever a self-deprecating thought, like "I am not good enough," crosses your mind. Neither resisting it nor trying to substitute a positive affirmation will help. You need just see it for what it is, a kind of energy, a concept. As soon as you recognize it for what it is, a thought, you separate yourself from it. Your freedom resides in that gap. You have transcended mere contemplation. You are the consciousness that gives rise to the idea. This self-awareness is your very being. It has not been disturbed by mental chaos. It is tranquil and quiet. Negative ideas can no longer control you when you stay in this state of awareness. Even if they pop up occasionally, they won't dictate how your experience is going to be. Mindfulness is a useful tool for developing this kind of awareness. Bring your focus back to the here and now the instant you become aware of a negative thinking. Just let yourself be aware of the sensation of your breath coming in and going out. Pay attention to the world around you by tuning in to the sounds, feeling the ground beneath your feet, or listening to your heartbeat. Directing your awareness to the present moment releases you from the control that thoughts have over you. Why? Because dwelling on the past or worrying about the future allows negative thoughts to flourish. But being in the here and now is where they really thrive. You will experience a significant change as you continue to do this. A calmness and serenity wash over one when the mental bustle subsides. The key to finding inner peace is not to rid yourself of bad thoughts entirely, but rather to refuse to identify with them. You have let go of your resistance and your attachment to them. Like ocean waves, you let them come and go without worrying about their impact on the water. Acceptance is another factor to think about. Because we tend to evaluate or stigmatize negative thoughts, we tend to push them out of our minds. They are only made stronger by this opposition. Radical acceptance should be your practice instead. Simply let an idea come to mind without attaching any value judgments to it. This is what is happening now. You tell yourself, you neutralize the idea by embracing it. You are denying it the fuel it needs to annoy you. Thus, it loses all power. Finally, you must realize that bad thoughts do not pertain to you personally. They are an element of the human psyche as a whole. You help bring about your own emancipation and the awakening of mankind as a whole when you cease to connect with them. Transcending one's thoughts, rather than eradicating them, is the real change. Therefore, keep in mind that you are not your negative thoughts the next time they pop into your head. Awareness is you. When you settle into that state of mind, you'll notice that bad thoughts start to fade away. Because they are not rooted in the depths of your being, they can only come and go, never truly settling in. There, in the stillness of presence, you will find a tranquility that no mental chatter, good or bad, can ever shake. You should not be afraid of negative thoughts. They are ingrained in our minds as a result of our upbringing and the feelings we have never fully processed. Their emergence is a result of the mind-body habit that develops during years of unconscious existence. Realizing that negative ideas can't be erased in the conventional sense is the first step in overcoming them. Fight back, and they'll become more stronger. You should instead shine a beacon of awareness on them. First step towards change is self-awareness. Just be aware of the negative thinking as it comes. Recognize it for what it truly is, a passing mental shape, a mere concept. If you don't believe it, it won't do anything. Get some distance and watch. Who is keeping tabs on this idea? Beyond the intellect, there is a calm, unchanging presence that is your own essence, that which watches. Negative ideas flourish when they are identified. When you express your emotions by saying things like "I am anxious" or "I am angry," you link your identity to those thoughts. This association breathes new life into the idea. An alternative would be to state, "There is anxiety or anger is present." This little change will put some distance between you and that idea. There, you are at liberty. The mind loves drama and issues, so it fights this knowledge. The idea will attempt to re-engage you with its story by making you believe that the notion is crucial and requires attention. However, a thought cannot be solved by introducing another notion. Meeting it with calmness is the key to genuinely dissolving it. Being fully present in the here and now brings about a state of calm. Turn your focus from your thoughts to your physical self. Immerse yourself. Immerse yourself in the sensations of your feet, your breath, the warmth of your hands, and the vitality of your inner being. Issues do not exist in the here and now. They are products of the mind's projections of the past and future. There is a tale behind every pessimistic idea. Despite how captivating this tale is, it is always based on deception. Both the past and the future are merely projections, the former only existing in memory. You can't rely on either one. Present moment is the sole truth. You can deprive negative thoughts of their power source by focusing entirely on the here and now. Like waves pounding on the coast, some ideas may appear to be persistent. They will not be resisted. They gain strength via resistance. Let them ebb and flow instead, like clouds in the sky. Clouds do not disturb the huge, unspoiled sky. Just as ideas have no effect on your nature, so do actions. Patience is a virtue in this endeavor. The power of the conditioned mind is not instantly transformed, but it can be weakened with every moment of present and every thought that is seen without judgment. A new way of being, one that is based on awareness rather than thinking, gradually begins to take shape in the presence of light. Negative thoughts are rendered powerless. Defeating, altering, or fixing them is not necessary. All you have to do is recognize their true nature, transient, helpless, and ultimately unsubstantial. Your thoughts will calm down as you focus more on the here and now. When you remove yourself from the mental drama, you will find that peace comes, not because anything has changed in the outside world. It is not the thinker, but the awareness that underlies thought that constitutes your inner self. This state of consciousness is tranquility personified. Realizing this does not mean you have to get go of pessimistic ideas. You are above them. You are no longer defined by them. Everything else comes and goes, but you are ever present, huge and still. You are more than the sum of your negative ideas. These are only patterns that form in your mind and are kept going by the power of your thoughts. We need to know what these thoughts are before we can get rid of them. Negative ideas flourish when they are identified. In your mind, a concept becomes real when you give it your belief, focus, and emotional energy. The more you accept and embrace these ideas, the more engrossed you will get in them. The reality, though, is that you are not your ideas. Your thoughts float through your mind like clouds in the sky. One day they're gone. They are hollow and powerless until you bestow it upon them. Do not resist or attempt to ignore bad ideas. Doing so will only make them worse. Turn your focus instead to the here and now. Being totally present leaves no space for negativity. Why? Reason being, pessimistic ideas tend to evolve over time. Either they originate in the past, pain, regret, failure memories, or they generate future fear, worry, and anxiety. However, negativity has no place in the present moment. Take a brief pause. Breathe in deeply. Pay attention to how it enters and exits your body. Pay close attention to each breath. Pay attention to each breath. Pay attention to how your thoughts change as you go. A lull occurs in the train of thought. By focusing on the here and now, you break free from the shackles of negative ideas. Let go of pessimistic ideas. Fighting back just makes them more powerful. What you fight against stays. Instead, pay attention to the ideas. Take note of the patterns. They convey stories and generate emotions. You may put some distance between yourself and the concept by just watching them. No longer do you identify with it. You are free to roam in this area. Realize that you are not your inner monologue. The voice is audible only to you. The calm, shapeless presence under the mind is this awareness. It is the core of your being. If you want to continue on your journey of self-discovery, make sure to subscribe to this channel to assure living more in the present moment. Reply with the word "now" in the comments if this message resonated with you and if you want to continue growing in the future. Also, consider giving this video a likes or sharing it with someone who might benefit from a gentle reminder to slow down in life and be more awake.